Shalom Yasha'Allah. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahweh Shemel Shai. Wahawra Kakodash, Barakatam Akim. I just want to go into a topic regarding the so-called Mexicans. And one of the primary reasons why the Most High isn't fully activating them and moving them in the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai to come out to the highways and the byways and acknowledging their power as Yahweh Shemel Shai and as a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah is because their pride, man. You got to understand, so-called Mexicans, man, they're very proud people. All right? It's not just Esau. So-called Negroes are proud. You know, all the tribes are proud, man. Because why? Because we're in this flesh. But primarily, I want to just show something here in the scriptures that a lot of us brothers already know. But this is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's no other answer. You know, so-called Mexicans are proud, and if the time's gonna come when Yahweh Shemel Shai is gonna turn that. He's gonna turn that heart into a fleshly heart, because right now you got a heart of stone. Okay, and in the process of that, we're gonna be on the highways and the byways preaching. You're gonna see it. You're gonna know it, but it's not fully gonna affect you and hit you home, because Yahweh Shemel Shai has something great in store for you. Okay, and it's not gonna be to your destruction, as it says in the book of Baruch chapter 4. All right, he didn't deliver you into the hands of your enemies to destroy you. Okay, but since you're not taking heed to the mouths of the prophets as of old, you will take heed to Yahweh Shemel Shai and the men of the Lord in a way that you're not ready for. All right, this is in the book of Sirach. In the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 6, it says, "Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices." Okay, and that's towards all men, right? But talking about the so-called Mexicans, it says, "Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong." Now, you cross a so-called Mexican, he's gonna hold that, man. All right, so-called Mexican, they'll hold grudges. Okay, they'll it's crazy, man, and they'll want to bear every wrong towards their neighbor. Okay, but what they fail to realize too is that they don't look at themselves and try to correct their ways. That's what Yahweh Shemel Shai is about. That's what he's when you read the scriptures, it's about transforming yourselves into a new creature, man. Acknowledging your offenses, acknowledging that you ain't nothing, okay, and acknowledging Yahweh Shemel Shai as the ultimate power, and the brothers that are with you as them being in the likeness of Yahweh Shemel Shai, okay. But going towards these so-called Mexicans, all right, that come from the tribe of Issachar, they have that proud heart, man. Okay, they have that pride heart, and they do exactly what it says not right here not to do. They bear hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong. Okay, you can't tell them nothing. You can't say anything to them. You know, it says, and do nothing at all by injurious practices, and they're quick to want to fight. You know, they're quick to want to fight instead of using an understanding heart. You know, patience, proper discretion, judgment. You know, they want to jump off the handle, man. You know, they think everything's a damn joke. That's why brothers have always said the so-called Mexican is the new nigga here in America, and that's exactly true. They're being treated like shit. But you brought it to your own self, man, because you lowered your standards, you lowered your self-integrity. You know, you put yourself out there as a servant, to bear your shoulder unto tribute. And you know when people do that, how people do, they'll take advantage of you. You cause these things, and you fail to recognize Yahweh Shemel Shai as the one ultimately you have to bow down your shoulder unto tribute. You you know. And that's what they be doing, man. They bear every hatred towards their neighbor for every wrong, and they practice injuriousness, you know. It says even to their own people, man, even to their own selves, their own friends. They like seeing them get hurt. They laugh about it. They'll tell a lie, you know. They'll tell lies to each other. You know what I'm saying? It's because of that wickedness is still inside them, man. They ain't fully purged. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai it's got something for them, man. For these so-called Mexicans, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call God and Jesus, he got something for you, man. Because you ain't taking heed by the way of the prophets, the men on the highways and the byways that are making these videos, risking their life for the elect. He's gonna show you in a way that you ain't ready for, man. Verse 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. You see? So it's this pride that has separated you and from the Most High. Which, if you're separated from the Most High, contrary to Him, you cannot receive the Spirit. You cannot receive the messages that we're conveying to you by way of the internet and the highways and the byways. These lessons, okay? That's why we gotta rebuke you, you know. So it's that pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. And that's why you're seeing so-called Mexicans always constantly committing iniquity, being rebellious, you know, in all forms of wickedness and witchcraft. It says because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's why the earth has been given into Esau, the other nations, you know. And you wonder why you're at the bottom. You wonder why certain people are ruling over you. Is because of your iniquity, and because of your stubbornness, because of your hatred, because of that impurity. Okay, that impure mind state, which is the pure thing that should be dear to you, is His word. Which a lot of you so-called Mexicans, y'all don't truly believe in the Bible. Y'all don't truly love the Most High. Y'all love y'all's oppressor. Y'all love Cesar Borgia. All right, which is that image that so-called Mexicans bow down to, that white Jesus. All right, that's who that is, Cesar Borgia or Serapis Christus. That's who y'all worship, man. Which ultimately you love the so-called white man. You love your oppressor. It's what you call Stockholm syndrome. And what I notice with the so-called Mexicans is they're afraid of the white man. They don't like saying shit to him. They can't say shit to him. All right. They'll have someone else go ask them questions. Go speak for them. You know, they'll put up a front. Oh, I don't speak English. When the whole time that you speak English to them, and you're working in the same truck, you know, on the same project, they're speaking English, but they're afraid to speak to the so-called white man. But to their own people, they're full of pride, ready to work injurious practices and bear every hateful thing towards their neighbor, man. You know, that's why you are in the condition that you're in, man. You're not spiritual, all right? You're not as tough as you think you are, okay? It says, verse 9, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. And you gotta understand, Issachar is very covetous. You know, don't get me wrong, we all need houses, we all need vehicles, clothing, food, all right? But they like to ball out, man. They like to go out of control with their money too. You know, buy drugs, you know, unnecessary items, guns, that, you know, a lot of guns and, you know, all kinds of stuff, man. You know, that's not a way to go, man. The way to go is to seek out the old paths, to live a righteous life towards His word, man, towards Yahweh Shai, not towards your own belly. Okay, like I said, why is earth and ashes proud? You know, because you come from the earth. All right, that's what the word earth comes from, the Hebrew word arataza, you know, which in the Spanish is called tierra, the earth, you know, the land. That's where we come from. So why you proud, man, when you ain't nothing but dirt? You know, we're nothing but the weak elements of the earth. Okay? There's not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such and one setteth his own soul for sale. And that's exactly what you so-called Mexicans have done. You gave yourself over to tribute. All right? You bowed your shoulder you bear the tribute to Esau, man. To your conquerors, the conquistadors. That's what you've done. And that's the reason why it's so hard for them to snap out of it, is because they're like it says in Hosea, Ephraim is joined unto idols, leave him alone. Okay? Eventually they're gonna wake up, but it's gonna be on the time of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know? It says, for such an one setteth his own soul for sale. You know? Instead of giving yourself over to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai because you know you're bought with a price, you give yourself to the enemy, to Satan, to your own wicked devices. Like it speaks of in the book of Proverbs chapter 1. Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. You cast away your own integrity, man. Your own faith. You denounce your faith towards your heavenly power, which is ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahweh meaning he is, or he exists. Ba Hashem. Ba is in, Ha the. Sham the name, or name. Yahweh Shai meaning he is salvation. Towards who? His people, Israel, Yasha'Allah. Yasha'Allah, Israel, means he is a prince of power. And you cast away your bowels, man, while you liveth. By being a damn joker, crash dummy, you know, a payaso, a clown. That's all it is, man. Folly is setting great dignity here in America. And in the heart has been set in men. The world has been set in the heart of men, like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, verse 10, it says, the physician cut off a long disease, and he that is today a king and tomorrow shall die. Right, so it takes Yahweh Shai to cut off that long disease, man. It's not going to be accomplished by just more us brothers out there preaching. It's going to take Yahweh Shai to actually snap them out of that, man. And it's going to be in a way that they're not going to be ready for. Like the scriptures say, death by pain, they shall know it. You know? So it says, the physician cutteth off a long disease, and we know who the physician is. It's Yahweh Shai. All right? And he that is today a king and tomorrow shall die. So we all come and go, man. We're all born but of a few days. But within those few days, we have to do more than just work and make money and things of that nature, man. It's not about living to the fullest and fulfilling every pleasure on the earth, man. Scriptures say that the whole duty of man in the book of Ecclesiastes 12 says, let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and obey his commandment. This is the duty of men. All right. Verse 11, for when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. And that's it. that's the answer. Why these so-called Mexicans are the way that they are. You know, and it's also Judah, you know, Benjamin and Levi, which is Judah's so-called Negroes, Benjamin the Jamaicans, and Levi the Haitians. Okay, so that's the answer, man. So-called Mexicans, the Most High is gonna bring you back in a way that you're not ready for, you know. Verse 13, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. Therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Now we know that there's a remnant of 12,000 out of each tribe that are going to be saved. Okay, but he's going to do it in a way to the majority that you're not prepared for. Okay? It says, the Lord hath cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their places. And that's what the Most High is getting prepared to do. Setting up those that are worthy to rule. That's why you see us on the highways and the byways, preaching, prophesying, telling you to get right with your power, because you have a great reward to rule. The Lord, verse 16, the Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away and destroyed them to the foundations. Verse 17. He took some of them away and destroyed them, and had made their memorial to cease from the earth. Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. They that fear Yahweh are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. Among brethren, he that is chief is honorable. So are they that fear the Lord in his eyes. Alright? So that's the whole point, is that you gotta fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Put away your childish ways, your pride, you know. You gotta put away all that nonsense, man, and take heed unto the word. Alright? Let go of these idols, let go of everything that you were taught by your mom and your dad, and, you know, cut away that Catholicism, which is so-called Latinos are always heavy in Catholic, you know, Catholicism, which is the Catholics, you know, the Catholic religion. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai has nothing to do with none of those houses, none of those churches. Alright? Verse 21, the fear of Yahweh goeth before obtaining of authority. You see? And you see a lot of these Latinos, they act like they got authority, man. Especially amongst their own selves, amongst their own people. But like I said, with Esau, they're bowed down to Esau. It says, the fear of Yahweh goeth before obtaining of authority. Because before you can get that seat, to be honorable, to be a king, to rule, you have to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And what does that mean? You have to obey him. You have to be subjected unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, your power. But roughness and pride is the loosing thereof. You know, that's where Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai starts to cut it. He'll eventually separate himself from you and leave you to your ruin if you don't repent. Alright? But I wanted to bring this out real quick just to show you, man. Basically, that's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Issachar, we already know, they're a silly dove, man. And they bowed themselves unto tribute. They basically made a pact with the enemy. Okay? They're not like Judah, where Judah was going to be at the neck of their enemy, you know, and the rest of the tribes were going to follow after Judah. It's going to be in ways that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai only knows, but we more or less know through the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, and all this shit that's going on over there at the border of Tijuana, you know, with the caravan and, you know, the immigrants coming from, you know, Central America, migrating up over here towards the United States, you know, California or wherever else they may have went through or trying to go through. You know, that's just the beginning of death and destruction. Okay? And so I hope that was edifying. You know, there's more things that brothers can bring out. You know, I went out over the weekend and spoke about the same thing, but I just wanted to do this, you know, on the way, on the road on my way to work, and just to, you know, put up a video to edify and to tell these so-called Mexicans, man, you can either repent, man, you get right. You quit bullshitting, man. It's not about always partying and drinking and all that shit. We're in a time where we're at war.